Rana Basharat Ali Khan calls for immediate international intervention to safeguard Sudanese civilians amid escalating crisis. Geneva, Switzerland. Rana Basharat Ali Khan, chairman of the International Human Rights Movement IHRM, today issued an urgent appeal for global intervention to halt the humanitarian crisis rapidly worsening in Sudan. Khan's statement highlights recent violence across Sudan's Gezira state, particularly in the towns of Tamboul, Rufaa, and Al-Hilaliya, where civilians are being subjected to indiscriminate violence, forced displacement, and severe human rights abuses, including sexual violence and loss of life. Recent reports indicate that the ongoing conflict between the Rapid Support Forces (RSF) and Sudanese Armed Forces (SAF) has inflicted profound suffering upon innocent civilians in these regions. According to multiple accounts, attacks by RSF forces have devastated communities and displaced thousands of residents, while unrelenting warfare between factions jeopardize humanitarian access to those in need. Khan condemned these indiscriminate attacks on civilian populations, emphasizing that they contravene international humanitarian laws and principles that the United Nations and global human rights bodies uphold. Humanity cannot stand by as innocent lives are taken, families are shattered, and entire communities face annihilation, said Khan. We call on the international community to mobilize for immediate action, implementing strong sanctions, enforcing arms embargoes, and ensuring safe passage for civilians caught in this brutal conflict. It is time to stand in solidarity with the Sudanese people and end this crisis before it escalates further. The international human rights movement has reiterated its commitment to advocating for Sudanese civilians and continues to mobilize resources and diplomatic outreach to address this humanitarian emergency. Khan further urged global leaders, humanitarian organizations, and peace advocates to rally in response, emphasizing the urgency of coordinated international efforts to protect civilians and facilitate peace talks. The International Human Rights Movement, founded by Khan, is an influential global network of activists across more than 60 countries dedicated to defending human dignity, promoting social justice, and holding violators of human rights accountable. Khan's message aligns with the organization's long-standing mission to support and protect vulnerable populations worldwide through advocacy, policy influence, and partnership with leading human rights institutions.